Y'all, we made it through 2022. For us here at the Gallant Goblin, we certainly had our high highs and some low lows this year, but that just makes us grateful for what we have. If you're looking to get some little goodies for your friends or your family or for yourself to show how grateful you are for them or for your own hard work this year, this video should have you covered. You can also check out our gift guide from last year, which is still completely valid. The link is up there in the eye in the corner of your screen and down below me there. And before we jump in, I just want to draw your attention to a video we dropped a few days ago about a new free online AI tool that can be an invaluable resource for your game masters. I know that I'm never going to play another game without it. It is, in a word, revolutionary. So load that video, which is in the eye in the corner of your screen up there, into another tab and check it out when you're done here. And if you see something you like in this video today, check the doohickey down below me for all the links that you need to everything you see here. And we also have a little curated selection of products on Amazon if you're looking for any more ideas. All those links and doohickeys are down below. So let's get to the goodies. We are going to start strong here. This is a gift that your entire gaming group can come together on to give to your game master, or even to the person who is ready to put on their fancy game mastering hat for the very first time. It is a fantastic way to thank them for all the hard work they've done, but mostly this is an adventure that you're going to want them to take you on. This luxury box here is a joint effort by the Mysterious Package Company and a company called The Weather Factory. The Mysterious Package Company makes these fantastic stories that you can sign your friends or family up for. They'll receive a series of packages in the mail that are tailor-made for them that tell a story, often a rather creepy story in the best possible way. I signed Grady up for one a few years ago and it was very memorable. Maybe we'll tell you that story one day. But this box contains everything you need to tell a standalone TTRPG adventure called The Lady Afterwards. I'm planning to do a more thorough review of this whole box later on, but you get a 30-page rulebook and the 50-page scenario that is set in 1920s Alexandria. I think it'll have a very Call of Cthulhu feel to it with occultism and hidden gods and forbidden arts. It is set in the Secret Histories universe and uses their rules. If you haven't heard of Secret Histories, don't worry, I hadn't either. We will learn together. This particular adventure, The Lady Afterwards, is described as a non-linear, combat-light, story-centric tabletop RPG, an occult Egyptian noir inspired by classics like Chaosium's Horror on the Orient Express. It is designed for 2 to 8 players, and the storybook is written very clearly. So even if the person running this set has never played an RPG before in their entire life, no D&D, no Pathfinder, no nothing, I think they'll be able to pick this up and run with it. Experienced players, you've got nothing to worry about. Except maybe spoiling your players, because it's the other stuff in this box that really makes it special. You get 18 so-called clues, including telegrams and notes and ledgers and photographs. So many really authentic looking documents. You also get 8 customizable character sheets, 8 Art Deco style character pins for the players to wear, a journal for the game master or the game runner as they're called here to keep track of the players and their progress in the game, a black opium scented candle that honestly smells really good, a full color A3 map of 1920s Alexandria, a full soundtrack you can play on Spotify, 2 sets of dice in a burlap bag, a 78 card tarot deck, and a frickin' magnifying glass just to be extra, and I'm here for it. It all comes in this gorgeous wooden case that is going to be displayed in my house forever. Now, if your players play remotely, you can also get the game digitally on their Cultist Simulator platform on Steam, and the fancy deluxe box here also comes with a Steam version of Cultist Simulator and the Lady Afterwards adventure for free. This big deluxe edition is on sale right now for $170. It usually goes for around $200. You can also pick up the digital version on Steam. The Cultist Simulator platform by itself is $20, and you can bundle it with the adventure for $51 total. And they have several other adventures you can pick up as well. Now that Grady and I have started working on more third-party 5e books and projects ourselves, we've learned to recognize high-quality creative products that really add value to your games and aren't just slapdash campaigns that weren't thought all the way through. And honestly, there are a lot of those out there. Well, one of the biggest names in the third-party 5e book game is Kobold Press. We've just recently gotten on the Kobold Press train ourselves, but they have a very rabid fan base for a reason. And they've got a few new books coming out for the holidays, and I wanted to draw your attention to them because they are also great gifts. First, we have the Tome of Beasts Volume 3, which is a bestiary of hundreds of creatures from the CR0 Meerkat all the way up to the CR30 Godslayer, an immensely powerful construct designed to, well, you know. Each creature is illustrated, given a pretty good amount of lore, and many have special features like DM tips for incorporating them into your adventures, information about making them spellcaster familiars, setting information if you're using them in the Kobold Press Midgard setting, new diseases that they can spread, and more. And to be honest, the stat blocks here and the creatures themselves are definitely rivaling anything that's ever been in an official D&D book. There's also an appendix with new NPC types like apostles, atavists, field commanders, merchant captains, genie warlocks, so many. And they give you a table to help you mix and match the NPC type or profession with the various races introduced throughout the Kobold Press books, so you can design an NPC that's perfect for your needs. With this many creatures, having an organized system for finding what you need is really important, and Kobold Press here gives you several lists, organizing them all by CR, by creature type, and by the terrain that they're typically found in. Great book, great bestiary, but it's the other connected products that really bring it together. First, you can get the Tome of Beasts Volume 3 pawn set to bring the monsters to your table in the form of cardboard pawns like you're used to with Pathfinder and Starfinder. But this is what I've always wanted from a great bestiary. This is the Layers book. Now, I'm pretty new to Kobold Press, so I just assumed that this was a book of cool layers to put your monsters in, but no, this is much more than that. This is a collection of 23 short adventures that are centered around some of the most interesting new creatures in Tome of Beasts Volume 3. So if you're like me and you have all these awesome creatures, but you really want some great stories to tell with them, well, this book is perfect. Each adventure is designed to be completed in a session or two, and they each include maps and loot and a variety of adventure hooks so that you can easily tie them into your ongoing campaigns. So, for example, Tome of Beasts comes with quite a few new clockwork creatures, and the Layers book gives you a third-level adventure in which a group of unemployed recent graduates with crippling student loans have stolen the clockwork creatures from their university and used them to rob caravans to help pay down their loan interest. It is both relatable and timely. They haven't physically harmed anyone yet, but these things inevitably get out of hand in these sorts of matters, and depending on how your party approaches the situation, you might bring the bandits to justice or recruit them to aid your group with their tinkering abilities. And in the mission itself, they'll have to contend with the new creatures from the Tome of Beasts Volume 3, namely the Atavist, animated instruments, a clockwork armadillo, a clockwork pugilist, and a harvest horse. Tome of Beasts 3 here is available as a hardcover for an MSRP of about $50, and the PDF is $30 or $60 for both. The pawn box is $45. The Layers book here is $40 for the hardcover, $25 for the PDF, and $45 for both. You can also get both books on Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Shard, or Foundry. Tome of Beasts 3 is $50 on each, and Layers is $30 on each. And let me do some magic here. Another pair of books came out earlier this fall that are really interesting too. The Book of Ebb and Tides is a setting guide for the Shadow Realm with a ton of player content, including 17 playable species. Let's get used to saying that. Species and subspecies, including Bearfolk, Shadow Fae, and Shadow Goblins, 10 subclasses, a new Shadow Pantheon, and maps and items and spells and monsters. And again, this is what Kobold Press does best. You also get a companion book full of adventures ready to go to get the most out of your new setting book. Tales from the Shadows features 14 adventures from levels 1 to 8 that are loosely connected to tell a full story in the Shadow Realm. So if a Shadow Realm campaign or an extended series of side quests sounds pretty fun for the winter months, this pair of books isn't going to disappoint you. The Book of Ebb and Tides is about 250 pages long and $50, and Tales from the Shadows is about 190 pages long and $40, and you can also get them digitally or on the VTT platform of your choice. One thing that's really great about this hobby is that you can fully enjoy it without spending any money at all, really. The rules are online for free, you can write your own stories or use the ones other people have written and given away for free, you can draw your own maps, you can even have your own phone roll your dice for you. You can even play solo if you don't have funds to buy friends. If you do want to spend money for some imagination enhancers, as I call them, you certainly can. Minis and pawns and music and maps and terrain and scented candles and live actors to perform your role-playing for you in costume, catering from medieval times, live owlbearers and tutus for your friends to fight, whatever you like. But if you want to get some of the bling of having a bunch of fun maps and scatter terrain without spending a bunch of money, Dungeon Craft from 1985 Games here is pretty great. They have a whole variety to choose from, but the one I have here is Hell or High Water. Let's say you're playing Descent into Avernus or Ghosts of Saltmarsh. This box contains 880 bits of scatter terrain to use to make your own maps. They're all on these sheets which you can write on with wet or dry erase markers. Just cut out the ones that you want along their dotted lines and then add them to your map. But you can also get maps directly from 1985 Games that will match the coloring exactly. This set has all sorts of ships and islands and debris, ocean life, piers, turtle rafts, sunken ships, lava rivers, demons, and lots more. Each sheet is double-sided, so there really are a lot to choose from. They have a lot of these sets too, including standard dungeon pieces, a haunted castle suitable for Curse of Strahd, there's regular castles, keeps and fey forests, there's just so many. For your starting game master or one looking to up their game, you might want to consider Dungeon Craft Volume 1, which features a ton of buildings and forests and rivers and monsters and heroes. What I find really clever is that the buildings feature the roof on one side, but when your players enter or look inside a window, you can flip it over to reveal the interior. It is all really well done and should last you forever if you take care of it. A standard set like this one runs about $40, and the matching maps are 24 by 33 inches and cost about $17. It's really good stuff. That is Dungeon Craft by 1985 Games. One of the highlights of my year this year was listening to the audiobook version of the first Law Fantasy series by Joe Abercrombie. It's basically a 10-book series that consists of a trilogy, 3 more or less standalone novels, and then a sequel trilogy, and finally a book of short stories. First, the books are just amazing, and I think they'll give you some great examples on crafting memorable characters and locations and stories for your TTRPGs. And the narrator of the audiobooks, Stephen Pacey, is the best I have ever heard. His character work is amazing. The first book is called The Blade Itself, and it brings together our core cast. Logan Ninefingers, a barbarian who has maybe survived one too many close calls. Captain Giselle Don Luther, a dashing new military officer who doesn't know what he's about to get caught up in. Inquisitor Glokta, a torture victim turned master torturer, consumed by grief for the life that he lost out on. And finally, the wizard Baez, and I am going to leave Baez for you to discover. Again, all 10 books are tremendous, and I think there are more coming, and I will be the first in line to get them. And the other highlight of my year has been reading through the Saga series written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. It tells the story of 2 lovers from 2 warring factions trying to raise a daughter together while on the run from both sides. It is definitely an adult title, so keep that in mind, but it is maybe one of the most celebrated award-winning comics in the modern era. It is enormously creative and fun and moving. Vaughan and Staples have created a science fiction fantasy universe here that feels so confident and alive right from the very first issue. Now, there are a lot of versions of the book out there, but I can confidently recommend the ones that look like this. They'll say books 1, 2, and 3 on the cover. You can pick up book 1, which is here, which covers the first 18 issues for about $30 right now. There are only 3 books currently available. The comic by Image Comics is still being released, and they're up to issue 61, I think, as of January. One of the most meaningful things that you can get for the D&D player in your life is custom art of their character or the party. If you know an artist in your area who can do it for you, that's great. If you have no idea where to start, let me recommend going to Twitter and doing a search for D&D and the combined word Portfolio Day. You'll find a ton of great artists at different price points. Just look for a style you like, go to their profile page and see what they say about commissioning work. Some will have price lists available and some will ask you to contact them. Art can be a little bit expensive, but it'll likely be a gift that they will always treasure. If you've been with us for any period of time, you probably know that Hit Point Press has been sponsoring us and keeping us on the air since the early days when we had like 1,000 subscribers. We are so grateful to them for their support, and we are so lucky that they happen to make some of the very best products in the TTRPG space. Let me tell you about some of my favorites. I have to start with their animated cards. I'll throw down the best minis, the best terrain, the best wine I can afford, but nothing gets my players more excited than when I hand them a stack of these cards representing the spells that their characters can cast. Getting all the decks with all the Open Gaming License 5e spells can get pretty expensive, but you can always just go one spell level at a time. Starting a new campaign, just get the cantrips and the level 1 spells. Don't level the party up until they've contributed enough money to the pot to get the level 2 spell cards. But you can also get animated townsfolk cards, animated condition cards, and 2 in-game magic items, the Deck of Illusions and the Deck of Many Things. These decks are just such good stocking stuffers. If you have never heard of the Griffon Saddlebag though, they make absolutely wonderful magic items with some phenomenal art. Another great gift is their first hardcover book with 365 such items, and the accompanying reference cards so you can hand them out at your table for easy reference. And for all I talk about the utility of having these cards handy, it is just fun to have gorgeous cards representing all the cool stuff that your character can do just in your hands. Finally, I just still have to plug Humblewood, which is still my favorite third-party 5e adventure of all time. It is so imaginative and fun and thought-provoking. And despite the cutesy aesthetic to it, the story is deceptively complex, and the characters have a lot of power to shape what this little world will look like at the end of their campaign. Since it's only a 5-level adventure, you can probably knock it out in several months depending on how you play. And it is backed up with all sorts of extra side quests, some of which are free. You have reference cards and minis and DM screens and plushies like Griffon the Ash Knight over here. You have all sorts of other things to bling out your game if you want to. Humblewood is definitely highly recommended from me. And Hit Point Press has so much more, including their new animated tarot cards over here, and the 5e guidebook that goes along with it. You also have Heckna, which is an adventure set in a creepy carnival. You have the big bad booklets, of course. You have Fool's Gold, which is super popular, the Islands of Sina Una, Lore of Aetherra, Shift, the new game, and lots more. If you're looking to fill up those stockings, their online store can just be a one-stop shop for that. Check them out at all the links down below. Is it time? Are you and your gaming group ready for the most epic campaign you'll probably ever embark on? If the answer is yes, or hell yes, you need to consider picking up Kingmaker for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is the campaign that I am gonna run one day when I actually have the time. Many folks regard Kingmaker as the best campaign in Pathfinder history, and for its anniversary, Paizo has updated it for 2nd edition. They fixed up little parts that were lacking, added in a ton of content from the successful Kingmaker video game, and released a ton of accessories you can use to streamline, organize, and enhance your campaign. In Kingmaker, your players are going to explore and found their own nation. It is a full level 1 to 20 adventure, and it's probably going to take you years to get through it all in the best way possible. You've got the complete 2nd edition adventure path in one hardcover book. There's also the Kingmaker Companion Guide, which gives you several fully realized NPCs with their own stories and adventures to help populate your world. It takes a lot of people to run a kingdom after all. And these NPCs are brilliant, they're fully fleshed out, and they will feel like complete party members for your group. NPCs who can sometimes step in and come along, or manage parts of your kingdom, or just go off and do their own thing. This book also has a ton of new items and spells and rituals and camping activities and exploration activities and kingdom activities, structures you can build in your kingdom, and events that can happen in your kingdom to spice things up. This little book is low-key one of my favorite Pathfinder books this year. It is just so full of flavorful and fun things for your players to do and exciting people to populate your nation. And you can also pick up a special Kingmaker DM screen to help you run this, admittedly very complex adventure path, and a kingdom tracker booklet to, well, track your kingdom, including their settlements and their relations and events and buildings and army. There's even little building art tokens and a grid that you can get color copies of to build your settlements SimCity style. This is basically a complete and expanded character sheet for your kingdom that the players will be tracking, and it includes important kingdom running rules as well, so your players will have all those at their fingertips. And this adventure is all about exploration to expand your kingdom, so we're gonna need maps. You've got 3 standard multi-pack flip mats. Multi-pack means that each pack contains 2 double-sided maps for 4 maps total. It's got the Noble Manor, Kingdom Ruins, and Campsite, and a poster map folio showing the lands where the party will be engaging in their explorations, plus maps of important locations like Varnhold and Pitax. There is also a complete booster set of Kingmaker Minis that we reviewed in the eye in the corner of your screen. That was a good long time ago. That was one of the first Pathfinder reviews that I ever did. And I really didn't know much about Kingmaker at the time, but that video does have some pretty heavy spoilers, so you don't want to watch that if you're planning to be a player in that campaign. But to complement or replace minis in your game, because minis are expensive, you can also get the massive Kingmaker pawn box over here with more than 200 cardboard pawns. And by the way, I think this is the last Paizo pawn box we're gonna get, and I feel kind of sad about that. They're getting out of the pawn game. But now, if you are dead set on running this campaign using 5e rules, which I don't particularly recommend, they also have a 5e version of the Kingmaker Bestiary, giving you 5e versions of many of the monsters and traps and hazards and NPCs in the campaign. You can also just use this to expand your regular 5e adventures as well. You can check out the nearly 100-page Kingmaker's Player's Guide for free at the link in the doohickey down below me to learn more about the campaign. You can get the huge hardcover adventure path for 99 bucks or the PDF for 50. The companion guide is 40 bucks or 30 for the PDF. The GM screen, Kingmaker tracker booklet, and poster map folio are all 25 bucks each. Each flip map pack is 30 bucks and the pawn box over here is 60. You will need to pick up a pawn base set as well if you do want to get these pawns, if you don't already have those little bases to put the pawns into. The 5e Bestiary, if you do want that, is 50 bucks, and there's also a first edition version of the Bestiary to update all the characters for first edition too, and that's 45 bucks. Finally, you can get the special edition covers of the books if you like as well. All these books have been sitting in my bedroom for the last couple of months now, and every now and again I sit down in my comfy chair and flip through them, and I just dream about the day that I'll be able to run this campaign. This is an adventure built for all-day marathon sessions with lots of drinks and food and friends. God, I really want to prep it right now. Here at The Gallant Goblin, we talk a lot about minis from the big companies, WizKids, Steamforged Games, Reaper, but there are a lot of independent mini makers out there worth your consideration. One of the best places we've found to get independently designed minis is onlygames.co. We've teamed up with them for our own line of minis. You can see a few of our minis right here. I think they look amazing. We'll do a full video on them pretty soon, but you can also find minis from hundreds of other creators as well, and they're all print on demand. So if you need that one particular monster for an upcoming encounter in your game and you don't want to go opening up random booster boxes to find it, check out our link below. Or if you want to get a special PC mini for that special player in your life, I bet you'll be able to find something here, and you'll be supporting independent artists. They even have some full color minis available, and we have our own discount code that you can use below as well. Just type in TheGallantGoblin15 at checkout, or just use our link down below and you'll save 15% on your order. Now, if you're looking to get sets of minis for your Game Master as a present, make sure you know what they already have. If they're playing a particular 5e campaign, you can pick them up a booster box or one of the WizKids new box sets for that particular campaign. If they're doing something homebrew in D&D, you might consider picking them up a booster box from the Volos and Mordenkainen set, which contains a lot of fun monsters. If they're playing Pathfinder, a box of Bestiary Unleashed would probably work well. And yes, we do have our full set review of that set coming out soon if I can get it done. Hopefully you found something here that suits your needs. If you want even more recommendations, check out our gift guide from last year, which is still completely relevant. You can find that in the eye in the corner of your screen there. And if you've got some great gifts out there that you found yourself, let us know in the comment section down below, and then go check the comments for more ideas. But remember that the best gift you can give folks in your life is more time at the table with you, going on adventures and creating memories. So try to schedule some time to adventure this holiday season. I bet a lot of game masters and players will have a lot of new toys that they'll want to take out for a spin. And don't forget to check out Hit Point Press as a one-stop shop for all your last-minute gifting needs. Animated spell cards, Humblewood, gorgeous tarot cards, everything you need. And if you want to give us a holiday gift, you can pre-order a cuddly kobold for yourself or your family at koboldplus.com. They probably won't arrive to you by the holidays, but we are hoping to get them into homes in January. We are almost there, friends. Also, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel and liking our videos, which will tell the YouTube algorithm that they should show them to new folks. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. For now, though, please stay safe, have fun, love each other, and have a wonderful Christmas, Hanukkah, and holiday season from your friends at the Gallant Goblin.